Hello. Thank you for joining us here. My name is John Riley with the FocalPoint team, and today we're actually going to be discussing credits. Now, the crediting process within FocalPoint is becoming even simpler than before because now you can utilize a tool that's called the Credit Wizard. And essentially, what the Credit Wizard is, it's a tool that's going to help you identify and streamline how to actually credit back or give a return to a customer that's within your system. So let's actually walk through this process in terms of how this would actually work. So first and foremost, what you want to do is you select your front counter, and then you'll be able to go to credits. Now, within the credit section, this section here will actually show you any and all credits that have been applied to any customers in the past, right? So you'd see who the customer is, what the credit number was, for that order, what the order number is, what store this was applied to, the amount, date, what was refunded. Everything is there in a very meticulous way so that there aren't any mistakes or confusion that could take place or happen, right? It's designed to help this be as easy for you to identify and find as possible. And then you can even apply different reasons for why that credit was applied, right? So you can click on reasons, you can create a new reason here. That is essentially how you would do that process there, okay? And then you can apply that to the credit reasoning. So let's actually apply a new credit. I'd like for you to see how that works in real time. So we'll click on new credit. And what we'll do is it'll populate our credit wizard. It gives us the option to choose by order number, work order number. This could be for maintenance orders or, service, right? For service departments. You can search by customer, and you can also do credit, quick credit. You can select that customer option here, and then you'll be able to either do a merchandise return or a direct credit adjustment, right? If you have tax exempt customers, you can apply that as well. But just for this example's sake, I'd like to just search by customer. It's much faster for me that way. I'm going to go with Bob Johnson. And what we're going to do is we're going to look to credit back some purchases here. So this is our order number. And we can go in a few different directions of how we want to credit this order back, right? So the credit wizard is actually really awesome at identifying what options are available for you to select and what isn't. Right? So there's 5 general options that you can utilize. A line by line credit option, so you can go through each charge option available and credit it back individually. You can credit back by time intervals as well, if that was available, but this is a merchandise purchase, so that's not applicable to this example. We can credit back the entire order. Let's say stuff just needed to be returned completely. You can do it that way. You can do a balance due return, or you can do a tax only credit. Okay. I'd like to do line by line item just because it's a very cool way for you to be able to select particular items individually that can be returned. It doesn't have to be the entire order. So we'll hit next on this one. And what we're seeing is there were 3 items that were purchased by Mr. Johnson. We got mulch, 2 different mulches that were purchased, and then palm trees, right? So let's say we wanted to return the palm trees. We just select this item here, and we can either do a price adjustment or we can do a quantity return. Let's do quantity return in this one. There were 3 total palm trees that were purchased, and that's what we want to be able to return back. So we'll do that option there. We'll select 3, and then we'll go ahead and apply that there. And then now it's going to segment and separate the options of what we're looking to return. So these items are going to stay purchased. We're not crediting these back, but the palm trees we are. So then we'll select next. It gives us a full total now of what is being returned. Okay. The credit total is going to be the $300 for each tree, and the taxes are also being refunded as well. So we'll select next, and then we can choose our reasoning here again that we just did, right? So we're going to do this as a credit example, applying back palm tree purchases. Okay, and then we'll select next, and it's going to give us now almost like an accounts receivable record view, right? You can see what this looks like now. If there's any other past due costs or things that were applicable to the account, you'd be able to see that stuff here as well. We'll select next, and we can choose how we would like for this to be done. So we can either credit this back on account, it can be an internal refund, or we can apply it back to the card that was used. So I'd like to do this directly to the card that was used because we don't want to assume that Mr. Johnson doesn't need his money back. We'll go ahead and fill out this information for Mr. Johnson. And just as quickly as I'm filling this out, I could be having a conversation with him. How's your day going? How's the business, right? And, we're flying through this relatively quickly as I'm talking to him. And then it's going to give us a breakdown again of what this credit will apply to Mr. Johnson, right? So the credit total will be $319.50 back to his card. We've got the order number that it was originally done on. The balance refund is going back to his Visa card. And because he's a loyalty member, he had earned points with that purchase initially, but that's going to deduct with the return. So it's just an even exchange in that capacity. And what we'll do, we can actually email this to Mr. Johnson. If he called me or if he was in the office or in my location doing this, I can still send him a physical receipt by email, or I can print that out. But essentially, let's say if I wanted to do this over the phone, I'm talking to Mr. Johnson, I can email this directly to him. It'll pull up that email for me here, and that attachment kind of shows what that particular credit would be for. Okay, and all the explanations of what the credit purchase is going to be listed here. So we got the date and time. It's time stamped. We know who's applying this credit back to Mr. Johnson, the customer number, all that information, the notes, and basically explanation on why we're crediting this back. It's there. So this is just it's done in a very detailed and organized way to help resolve any potential issues or discrepancies in the future for a credit, or a customer claiming something wasn't applied correctly. That ultimately would be how that process would work. Okay, and once that credit has been applied, what we'll see here is that new record added right here at the top of the list. So we're looking at this. It's date stamped. All of this is there, and it's just that simple, being able to utilize the credit wizard. So this is a great example. If anyone would have any questions in terms of how to utilize this tool, how can I utilize this on the day-to-day, please feel free to reach out to us here in the sales team. We'd love to schedule some time and coordinate some time with you to walk you through how to utilize this and best practices. Thank you. Take care.